Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Monday Show Live North Pole Happy Hour. And with me today, as always, I have a Phineas TF
Good afternoon.
and Randall Santa Checkerley.
Hey, great to see everybody. Bob, Phineas, and Angela in the back there running the show. Thank goodness for her.
Over in
Woo-hoo.
the corner,
Without
she's
her,
always,
we wouldn't even be here right now.
Nope.
yep, stuck in the corner like always. And I hope everybody's
Nobody
had a,
keep Angela in the corner. Wait a minute, isn't that the saying?
yeah, exactly. Hope everyone's had a fantastic week so far. I mean, of course, yesterday was the kickoff of the week, but since last Monday is the way I always look at it, and hope that everything's been good to you. Hope the weather's treated you right. We've got beautiful weather here today, 84 degrees and mostly sunny. But
Yeah,
for the
same
next week
thing.
or so, we've got a chance for rain every day, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we got a chance to rain all week too. It's been going to be way, way, way above average here. 30 degrees, 40 degrees, above average. We're in the 40s and 50s. But I'll take it. It's great sitting on the porch. I had lunch on the porch yesterday, and it felt
I
so
see,
good.
I see it's still snowing in the upper elevation of the Rockies along through
Yeah.
Wyoming and a few places along the way there. So uh, that time of year, I guess, you got to expect the weather to be diverse. All
Well,
right. Phineas, I know you're a little across the border, but not, really any further than Randall. Your weather about the same.
Just
I'm actually further south than Randall.
Yeah, you're actually, yeah, you are probably just
Yeah.
yeah, just
Um,
a little.
it's actually 74 degrees and sunny here, but on the weekend we had snow, so it's Canadian spring. So
Yeah, that's what I say. I was watching and I noticed all up through the upper peninsula and across that area north of Detroit, of course, was getting snow. But I know Randall was spared this time. So, and you being south of him, but I guess would you say that you get lake effect snows of any sort, Phineas, where you are, or
we do. It's a weird little climate here because during the summers we actually are warmer than pretty much everywhere else in the area because of the Niagara. The Niagara escarpment actually acts as a block. But
yeah,
during the winters, when the snow comes off the lake, we're just socked in here. So
that's what I thought.
yeah.
Yikes! Niagara Falls. Slowly.
By step, inch by inch. That was a great one. That was a great stooge there on that one.
Oh,
Okay,
Bridges.
go ahead and let's jump into our Santa B with a hot cup of cocoa segment today and see what he has to inspire us with, as he always does.
Ho, 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 and happy day, my friends. Santa B back with you here again today. Today, I thought we'd continue on a little bit with this conversation about love that we started last weekend. We started out just talking about from the book of Galatians, and I wanted to go on to chapter 4. And don't worry, this is not going to be a sermon. I just want to touch on something real quick. Paul talks about love and gives us a great definition of what love is. It starts off with love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast. And I encourage you, if you're not familiar with it, please go read it and become familiar with it because it gives us a great definition of what love is. And we talked last week about doing things with love, and then Paul goes on to really explain what those actions are. And this week I want to talk about not necessarily the easy thing of projecting love to others and doing loving things for our community and for our friends and for our family, but recognizing that we are worthy of that same love and that we should hold it for ourselves. Not in a narcissistic kind of way, but just to recognize that with ourselves, we should be patient. We should be kind. All those things that Paul talks about are things that we should learn to be the same with ourselves. I know I had a deal. I screwed up over the weekend. I got really angry with myself. And I recognized it was not a big deal. I had to recognize I needed to forgive myself. I needed to give myself some of the grace I would have gladly given anybody else. And I promise you, if you learn to do that, if you focus on giving yourself a little bit of the same grace you would give to anyone else, it will make a difference in your day. Folks, be blessed, be well. I love you all. Bye-bye.
There's a few things I take away from that, guys, and that is we're always hardest on ourselves. If in our minds we think we've messed up, then we're hard on ourselves because of it. And it is a great reminder that we should give ourselves the same grace we would anyone else. Number two, Santa Scott, Santa B, and Scott's son took a class this weekend, on audio visual, and it was a couple hours long. It was really a great class, and they learned a lot of things. Santa B traveled down to Scott's house in Oklahoma City, and they took it there together. So fantastic. And, we were just talking back in the green room earlier about the 70s. That reminds me of the summer of love. With Santa Be talking about love and all. I remember there was a summer that was considered a summer of love
Summer of Love, that was.
back in the day. So kind of all three things rolled into one there on my part. What do you guys think?
I totally agree. You really have to take care of yourself also. It's great to have people around you to take care of you, but you got to take care of yourself. And it's not easy sometimes. We can spiral down in that little hole very, very easily. So at least I know I can. And
It's,
have.
it, it's easy to beat yourself up, and you just have to grant yourself the same amount of grace that you grant every other person. So that's all you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's okay. I mean, you can beat yourself up, but don't harp on it. Don't stay on it. Just kind of, tell yourself, hey, I messed up. I got to do better and learn from it, move on. All right. I think we're ready for that first up on our menu, which is the elf appetizer. So, everyone, and your
Maybe I get a bite in this time. Maybe.
your alcohol swab patches so you can clean your fingers up after you get all that stickiness off.
No, it doesn't matter. It can be dripping down. It's okay. It's yummy.
I cooked extra bacon for you today, Randall.
Oh, you are such a nice guy, Phineas. That's so sweet. Man, I'm hungry. What's new? What's new, right? Here it goes.
Well now, that's not just a burger, that's a statement. Welcome to the Elf Appetizer, where we get straight to the meat of the hot topics. Stop drooling, fellas, we're just getting started. We stack it high, truth, humor, a little heat, and we don't nibble around the edges. So pull up a chair, loosen that belt, and let's take a real bite out of this thing. Let's carve into it.
I just love it.
I have my pad ready.
Thank you. You got yours ready.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about this is these alcohol swabs say external use only, flammable. Enough said.
So, yep.
Enough said.
The other two things together that's not written on there.
70s, summer of love, all this stuff going on today. Let's finish. Maybe he can straighten us
I
out.
would try to smoke them back in the 60s, though. You know they did. Or use them as paper, maybe. I don't know. Not that I would know about those kind of things or not.
Anyways, today's elf appetizer is quite a mouthful, so bear with me here. Do new Claus performers struggle because they don't know how to build a clear brand identity? And what does branding even mean in the red suit industry? Are new performers relying too heavily on Facebook groups to promote themselves? And is that actually reaching the people that hire Santas and Mrs. Clauses? What are the most effective ways that Claus performers promote themselves outside of Facebook? And how do you personally market your Claus business? And what has been most effective for you?
That's a
No.
Yeah, that is a lot. It all, again, rolls into one package there. And we thought it was a great topic for this week.
So let's talk about marketing. And personally, we don't use Facebook a lot for our marketing. Um, our branding is mostly outside of Facebook, although we do have a website and a Facebook page, and as well as a Instagram presence. But we do not market to any of the Facebook Santa groups. Um, that's kind of like marketing to the choir as far as we're concerned, preaching to the choir. Um, we market to groups in our communities. We do a lot of um, public events where we are quite visible, and we do carry business cards with us. Santa David belongs to a networking group that we often get work from. And also, when we do public events, we make sure that we are have permission to hand out our business cards, especially if we're being contracted to be there.
Great point.
So, and yes, we do have branding because we work as a working partner. We are Holiday Magic with Santa and Phineas. That being said, Santa does solo gigs, Phineas does solo gigs, but most of the time we're marketing ourselves together. So we have created a branding for ourselves to the point where um, we once lost a gig because there was another Santa David who was in this area, and the person mistakenly hired them. And when he showed up, they were wondering where the elf was. And what do you mean, where's the elf? And well, there's an elf that works with you. No, I don't have an elf that works with you. And then they realized they got the wrong Santa David. And so that person almost lost that job for the next year unless they could get us back. So to market yourself, you got to focus on what is different, what you offer in addition to others. Because if you just put on your website for the search engine optimization is Santa Claus for hire in your geographic area, you that will help, but you also need to figure out what makes yourself different. And so be visual with your branding. Make sure you've got good photos of yourself. Make sure that your public pages on Facebook, your Santa pages, reflect the kind of entertainer you are, and not politics and spam and memes and stuff like that, because it is your advertisement to people. So be cautious in how you present yourself publicly. Um, Make sure that you provide a consistent image of who you are, and then make sure that you are actually advertising to the people that hire you and not just advertising to fellow Santas and performers.
Real quick, Randy, I want to jump in here.
Go ahead.
Next, coming up here, I think it's next week, next Sunday. I was going to mention this, but Doug kind of put it in here. So let me just go ahead and throw this up. This was kind of the reason for the question, because this is something that Doug and the Couples Clause has coming up. Maria Bailey will be on with them, and that's what she does. She teaches you how to promote yourself to the right in the right places. AKA, another way of putting it is, as Fanny said, you don't want to preach to the choir. You don't want to promote yourself in these Santa groups because you just promote yourself with other people that's like-minded like you that are performers, and you're not really going to get any jobs that way. But you do want to base yourself on mom groups or your local city groups or groups within your region or area, and become a member of those. And first off, make sure it's okay for you to promote yourself on there, because a lot of groups have rules that will not allow that. Most of the time, I think they're going to be okay with Santa, Mrs. Claus, or performers, elves of any sort, because that is different than a regular business that would be promoting putting roofs on or sewer clean out or whatever the thing might be. But anyway, be sure and check out upcoming Sunday, Maria Bailey over on Santa's Workshop. Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. Okay, Randall, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. That's great. Yeah, that's exactly what you gotta, what Phineas was saying too, is just make sure you don't, you can use Facebook all you want and use it as your web page if you don't want to spend money on a web page. Don't, don't, because we don't, another Santa's not going to hire us. Another Mrs. Claus is not going to hire us. You might be able to connect because they might know you, and if they need help, do it that way. But there's Gig Salad, there's local talent agencies. There's plenty of places to go market yourself above and beyond um, Facebook. So don't use that as to me is just an inexpensive website. And like Phineas says, no political, none of that stuff should be on there. No other opinions besides what Santa and Mrs. Claus would do, or else would do. That's exactly. Don't ever blend the two. So, but when it comes to branding, that's the thing. Like Phineas said, we all should have our own. We all are Santa or Mrs. Claus. We all know what that character is. But we all need to stand out too. Like Phineas said, there was two Santa David. So you need to know which one. Hey, I wanted the one that plays the ukulele, or I wanted the one that does something. Oh yeah, you stand out a little more when you brand yourself a little bit different. Um, so that's where I feel branding is a great idea to make yourself stand out to get that booking again, so they remember you. To remember Santa, but they got to remember you to get the rebooking for the following year. That's the thing, and that's where you need to stand out, do something different as your brand. Um, so use use so many other locals. There's still what are those? They still have those other kind of clubs that most cities do. I can't. Why does it not hit my head right now? Uh,
Chambers of commerce, boards of trade,
Yeah,
that type
those
of thing.
those kind you can still do. Direct mailers are long gone to do those kind of things. Email blitzes, that just doesn't. That used to be a big thing years ago. It just doesn't work anymore. Maybe we'll just spam it out, and you'll never get to them. Um, but there's plenty of places that you can promote. Look at all the major Santa companies that hire Santa nationwide. All those Cherry Hill, all those there's numerous more that you can tell them you want to work part time, full time, and they'll get your work besides. So you can work and then be different, be a little different. So
Absolutely. I was spending so much money on GoDaddy website each year, uh, and I finally made the conscious decision a couple of years back to just cut that. Me being at the mall, I didn't really need it anymore. I'm established, after 17 years, and Michael made a great suggestion to me. He said, "Do you know that you can take your website? You kept your website." Uh, and pay for that, correct? Not the hosting, but the name itself. And I said yes, which is your brand, which something Tim Conahan teaches 101 is pick something in your city. For me, Big D Santa because Big D is Dallas, and it was just natural for me to grab at it. It wasn't taken, and so I grabbed it. Anyway, long story short, and default that to your Facebook page. All you've got to do is go in wherever you purchased your domain name, and it gives you the option of being able to forward that to any URL. You put the URL in, someone goes to bigdsanta.com, and it automatically takes them to my Facebook page. My business page is linked, so my business and my regular page are both linked together through that purpose. Works great. Now, Barry Spencer had said uh, yesterday or day before that he was having trouble with this exact same thing, how to brand himself, how to uh, get himself out there, how to establish his identity. So I'm hoping, I know he's on today, so I hope that we're giving him some tips along the way. I'm going to throw Ernie's up real quick here. Phineas, go ahead.
Ernie Russo says, I would probably think the new performers do in fact struggle perhaps in the beginning, but with this program and all the Tuesday Night Live productions and the entire community here, we are all here to help one another. I have a brand physical trademark for my business, and I portray Santa as the best I can in my own way from all the things I've learned here and from many others around the country. And Ernie is a good example of that because he has A very distinct look as Santa. Um, uh, uh, he's got wonderful photos of himself. He's got definite visual identity. When you see a picture of Ernie, you know it's Ernie, and that you can appreciate that that is who it is. So
Picking up right here, Barry puts up, I have a lot of trouble with this. So it's good. I hope that we're giving you some tips, Barry.
Yeah,
Uh,
even you can Barry join some local Santa groups. Even they can help you out to figure out where they to go to. But a lot of
chapters or
Santas use
clubs.
gig,
Chapters or
yeah,
clubs
local
are a great
clubs.
way to help
Um,
out.
but
yep.
And
gig salad is definitely a great way to go. I don't know how it is in what area you live in there, Barry, but there are a lot of Santas do a lot of work with them because it's known by a lot of late, gigsalad.com. And people go there and they're looking for a magician or a clown or a band or Santa. They just type it in and go from there.
yeah,
So
and times have changed. When we were in the barbecue business, we relied on word of mouth, but you've got to have a good product. You've got to have a good brand. You've got to be consistent, and those all cross over into the Santa community. And we tried those direct mailers, and they worked. The first couple of times we did it, we would give a half off to a second sandwich plate, or different discounts, and try to. It worked pretty good. We would ask them to bring that coupon in, of course, that way we could track what we were getting back for our investment. And those are other things that you can actually do. Uh, like Randy said, I don't know that these direct mailers actually work that well anymore because times have changed and our means of communication has changed.
even the old fashioned used to be able to do a lot of then became you could do email everybody, and now it just so much goes into spam. So it's and so
And
yeah,
and this does fall back to Bill Coach says have talked with Liz Rouge. She covers this very well at MPC. She has for the last couple of years uh, did a presentation for us. And again, if you need help, I'm sure reach out to her and she can help you there also.
like Vinny said,
Uh,
also make sure you get new pictures every year. They don't have to be done thousands of dollars for pictures. These things here, these phones take great pictures. You know, get a nice backdrop, get a nice setting, or add a performance and do it, and then you own it, of course, since you did it on your phone. But get new ones done so you can update your Facebook, you can update with Gig Salad, you can update with your local um, uh, entertainment, talent agency.
yeah,
Yep.
there's another one there for you, Phineas.
Gareth Morgan says he was in a Oklahoma Santa group on Facebook, but left after he posted a Dutch Black Pete music video. Someone berated him as a racist. Santas will attack each other over trivial matters if they can, and that's the risk that, or what you risk when you engage on social media with the Santa groups. Um, as I said, why are you advertising to the Santa groups unless you want them to know that you are available for gigs or something like that? The Santa groups are there to exchange information about clauses. They're not really there to get hired as Santas. You're going to want to look at um, um, groups in your area, so sort of like the mom groups or the local business groups or something like that, and focus on showing who you are as a Claus performer in your area and that you are available for hire during the season.
Yeah, it's not when you have your business page at Santa or Mrs. Claus. I would say I never did on my business page of Facebook. Don't friend other Santas and Mrs. Clauses. Don't. I mean, you might feel bad. They might get upset. Why aren't you friending me? Leave that to your personal fun page. Don't friend other Santas or Mrs. Clauses. That is strictly there. So when they look you up, they only see you because all of a sudden they see 100 other Santas. Well, who's he? Where is he? Why give them the choice also to do that? But keep that strictly for as a website for you, not a website for other Santas.
That's
And
This
a great
this is
point.
where we break down the difference between your personal profile and a business page on
Right.
Facebook. So you should have your Santa as a business page and not a profile, because you're basically wanting your Santa presence to be that of advertising your business, not engaging as an individual, unless you want to deal with that.
but
We've
So,
that
talked
can
about the
happen.
groups. Sorry, Randy.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say we've talked about the groups. This is a good example. If you have friends in your area that you market with, or you share gigs that you can't cover. Don, for instance, says he's had to slow down because of aging and health problems, and then if you're established and you've got clientele that you want to pass along to your friend in your area that can cover it, if you feel good about letting them have it, you want to make sure that you don't send them to some guy that's not going to do them justice. But anyway, it's a good point there, Don.
yep. And that's why it's important to get in with the local groups, and particularly face to face with them, so you can actually see who's in the groups and who you would trust giving your beloved clients to, as a fellow performer. So that's why local networking is always good with folks in your community who are Christmas performers. But again, you're not marketing to them; you're getting to know them. So if you can put any overflow, or maybe if they've got overflow, they can send it your way as well. So
Absolutely, Ernie has a good point there too. The again, best way for him is word of mouth and branding to look at, including using it for his giveaways, which is
mhm.
another way of getting things out there. Gary Linder, hello, Gary. Let's see, have to show up here. Phineas?
Gig Salad works fairly well. I have a Santa Facebook page and a website. Most of mine comes from word of mouth and referrals from former customers. I have done drop-ins at assisted livings. And I think most people will find that the bulk of their marketing is probably through word of mouth or from people actually seeing you at an event.
Yeah,
Um,
and the
so,
rebooking from doing a good job, and
yep,
year after year, you're going to fill your year up
yep.
from year to year just from that.
The Vineyard Santa says, I have been told that my name is too specific, but it's distinct and probably won't get confused with another Santa. And that is a good thing because you want to be distinct, and so you won't get confused with another Santa.
And most of us shouldn't put on there Santa Randy or Santa Dave or on our business page. You
Hmm.
know, I don't put my real name on a business card because I don't think that's uh, because that child's going to get that and see that somewhere, and they're going to look it up.
Where I
We're,
find jobs from the Christmas entertainers that I belong to, when someone cannot meet their obligation, I try to fill in for them, and that was the point I was making a moment
Yep,
ago.
yeah.
yep.
And we always
John
need a
says,
backup there for something like that happens. It is easy to make a separate Facebook as a business account. That way, if you want to say something or not as Santa on your personal page, it doesn't go to your business page. And
Yep.
that's very true. You have to, like John said, you have to keep them separate because it's everything. Just think what Santa would say or Mrs. Claus would say or do. And a lot of the things, uh, no, you can't. There can't be anything negative on that page. Can't be any. No, can't be. I mean,
well, and
that's
like I said,
that's not
if
Santa
you're
like.
the only one on there, they're going to find you. If you friend a lot of other entertainers, and it's going to be
Yeah,
confusing. So keep those two accounts separate.
don't do other entertainers. Just
CJ says I use hiresantacharlie.com as my website, and on my Facebook, with a new policy at Gmail, I can now add hiresantacharlie@gmail.com to my current email address. Yahoo!
there's so many ways to connect things together now, which you couldn't do it before. So
So it's relatively easy. Again, since you bought it at GoDaddy, you'll have to log in with your login username and your password, and go to your I don't remember what they actually call it, but it's where each one of your, if you've got more than one name or if you've got hosting, all that stuff, you go to that particular page and it will give you a place there to forward your URL. You click on it and just copy and paste your URL and put it in there, and it will automatically start sending everything over to your Facebook URL. And the Facebook URL, you would go to whatever page you want to use, go up to your top address bar, copy and paste that URL. For instance, here, or say Tuesday night, it's at Tuesday Night Live 12:25, and that would be what you would post in there if you wanted to send it to that page, or vice versa. If you
Takes a
have
little work to do, but you can do it.
can't figure it out, just holler at me in a private message and I'll walk you through it.
It's a good thing to be able to do now. It really is.
Got time
Domains
for
are
a couple
cheap.
more here.
I did last year. Mailed out over 50 cards. A mailer to daycare centers and other. I heard back from two of them, and I
Right.
didn't. It didn't work out for me. Yeah, and that's so you're talking percentages. That's not even a half a percent
Yep.
of return on your investment. It just doesn't. Which is too bad. Years ago, that was the big thing to do: mailers, the school, the mailers, the daycares, and that was magic and everything. That was how you got your business going.
As far as Ray says, he steers clear of Black Pete at all costs. You know what, though, Ray, and everyone, there's always going to be that one or two naysayers, somebody that's always going to want to pile on you. You can't please all people all the time. Do you, and do you the best you can.
Yep.
Barry says we don't really have a local group close. Uh, you may not, but I do know that over there in your area there are quite a few. They may be a little further away from you, but that's the glory of Facebook and Facebook groups. If you do happen to get in a group with them, you can still communicate. You can still share ideas. You just don't get to go to the gatherings as often as you would like, if even at all, if it's too far, for you to drive. I know
Yep.
us being Texas being such a large state with the Texas State Senate, I have members all over the state that we all network with within our Facebook group. But when it comes to our eating meets, we mainly only get folks in the DFW area because it's just too far. Now I have had some drive in, but it's not very many.
Yep. John Schnagelberger later says that you can make a private group for local geographic members that way, so you can communicate privately and with the group. So if you know some folks in the general area of you, Barry, you can create that group with them, and use that as a way to connect with them. And I can answer this one for Sue if you'd like.
Interesting question. How do you politely get rid of Santas that are on your business page and that you are going to make it a Santa business? How do you get rid of them politely?
I would make a general post saying that my Facebook business page, this is a business page, it has become cluttered. My customers are having problems deciphering what is what on here. So please, no one be offended. Friend me over at my other page if you want to remain friends and you're not already over there. I'm going to be cleaning this page up, and you can't get more blunt and clean than that, and
Yeah.
plot at the same time.
And that is where I once again will differentiate between a Facebook page and a Facebook profile. Convert your professional page into a Facebook page, and that way you don't have friends. They can follow you. They are followers and not friends. So
Yeah, that makes a big difference. And you're not you just have to get them off there to make them to take the right
and
one.
and
Follower
when it's
follow you
and
to.
when it's a Facebook page, you can control how things interact. So you can use it as basically broadcast only rather than an interactive, message board. So.
Don is a member of the Northern Illinois Christmas Entertainers, aka NICE, and that is the Northern Illinois Chicago area. So, a great group to belong to if anyone's up in that area and would like to join. Go find them on Facebook and ask to be a member. Here's
Even if
one.
you, Bruce can say, check, I don't know if he's a member of iBurbs or anything like that, International Brotherhood Group. You join that, and then you can see if there's any local groups in your area that are affiliated with that even.
That's right. They have a chapter page.
Yeah, chapter page on
Part of that you go in there, and it's broken down into regions, and it will show, and will also show who the chapter leader is. For instance, I am, so my name is in that column. So for Texas State Senate. Phineas?
Philip Gianetto said that I once advertised on my local Facebook buy and sell and got dozens of leads in less than an hour. And that's really good to hear. Hopefully those leads actually turned into something rather than just leads. So we can keep our fingers crossed. So.
Wow.
Yeah. And again,
And
like for instance, Santa's closet used items only is only for used items, and we have had folks come over there before try to promote themselves. It's not the place to do it. Buy and sell groups, if they will allow you to do it, will reach some of the audience that you're looking for. But again, the used items only is a Santa community, so you're really not getting. You're just spinning your wheels. You're not getting anywhere. Okay, fantastic. We've run a little bit into our time here, and so I think we come to the end of that. Let's go ahead. And next up is santascloset.org and do our trivia on the other side of this. All right, Phineas, kick us off here.
Okay, for today's sleigh bell brain teaser, and once again, the producer needs both the letter and the word as an answer. What is said to be the most expensive toy sold in recent years from the 1970s? A. The Montgomery Ward Barbie doll. B. The Lord of the Rings Knickerbocker playset. C. The Atari Pong console. Or D. The 1979 Star Wars rocket firing Boba Fett action figure.
Does anybody remember Montgomery Ward's as it is?
I do.
I do. I do. Yeah. Wow, that's a good one.
That's Montgomery Ward's. That was a great department store. It really
It
was.
was a good department store.
They had
Thank
appliances.
you for Rudolph, everybody.
Growing up, a lot of the appliances they bought through the years were from Monkey Ward's.
Thank Monkey Wards for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, too. We have to thank them for that. They were the one that invented, used them as a promotional thing. And then, of course, the bonus question. The bonus question, again, we have to have both the letter and the answer. The year was 2024, but how much was the record amount for this toy? What was the lead selling toy that year? A, $525,000. B, $475,000. C, 1.1 million. D, 250,075 cents. The year was 2024, but how much was the record amount for this toy?
And what we're referring to is the toy from the first question. And
Question.
it was sold in 19, I should have cleared that up. It was sold in 2024.
Just think how much it's gone up.
Answer for the first part is what we're talking about on the second part. And the producer has a question.
There was a question on here from where'd it go?
Kevin Martin?
Yes. If somebody wants to address that real quick.
Okay, so Kevin Martin asks, this might be a stupid question, but do you have to be a real bearded Santa to be an IBRBS group?
No.
Now, to join IBRBS as a whole, no, you don't. But if there's a local group near you, you have to check.
Correct. And for the Texas State Santas, we accept all Christmas or performers, entertainers of all sort. You don't have to be an IBRBS member for the mothership. We're open. And one thing about the associated groups that are associated by name only with IBRBS is you are totally autonomous. You make your own rules. Some groups make their rules set up where they have elections. They, have directors and secretaries, and they have fees. My group is totally free because me and Randall love that four-letter word.
That's right. Free.
And I charge nothing to be a member of the Texas State Santas. And as long as you are a Christmas performer, you have either performed in Texas, was born in Texas, or have ties to Texas, which is a broad canvas.
Wow.
You're allowed to come in. And I have others in there that don't meet any of those three criteria as far as agents and or just folks that just want to be in and they're legit. I let them in. So, but each group is different, as Phineas says.
Same with maps. As long as you're a holiday performer and have the heart of Santa or Mrs. Claus, can become a member of MAPS up here. Even though it's Michigan Associated Professional Santas, there's people all across the United States and Canada that are members of MAPS. So
All right, let's. I think it's been up long enough. Everybody's had a chance to look at it, and hopefully, we've got a winner there on both of those. We will remind everyone that the first part of the question, the sleigh bell brain teaser, is good for a gift from santascloset.org. Wade and Scarlett Coppin over there. I will need, if you are the winner, and I don't already have your mailing address, and I will need your T-shirt size. Second half, your name goes in the hat with a lot of other names. Whoever has won one of the trivia questions where it was associated with the drawing for the scholarship for NPC 2027. And that drawing will happen the last show of 2026, the last Tuesday Night Live show of 2026. All right, we're ready
All
for
right.
the next one, Angie. And for the Elf and Chatterbox News, we go to Fanny S.
So thank you very much for from North Pole Cornerstones, which is coming up in February 2027, as you could see in the commercial that just ran. And for those who are in Michigan, Ohio, New York State, and Pennsylvania, as well as Ontario, Canada, coming up on April 25th, which is a Saturday, the regional municipality of the North Pole is hosting our 22nd annual Gathering of the Clauses in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. We are being sponsored by Cherry Hill Productions and Page Activations, but for a very small fee, you get a lovely chicken dinner and a afternoon of fellowship, discussion, as well as some education. Once again, the 25th of April in Hamilton, Ontario. Message Mike Hutchings directly or check out the regional municipality of the North Pole. And it's also been posted on Santa's Magical Fellowship several times. So come join us. So last week we talked about where does Santa store his suits? Is there one suit? Are there multiples? Are they in his personal closet where he keeps the rest of his day-to-day clothes? Does he keep it from the separate clothes? This next question is, where do your elves live at the North Pole? We all know Phineas has got a cabin by himself close to the reindeer barn where he is able to keep tabs on the reindeer and also make sure that they're okay. And it's also far enough out that it's close to the wood piles so he can check on, make sure that there's enough wood for the fireplaces to keep things fueled and warmed. But where do the rest of your elves live? Do they live in a dormitory? Is there an elf village? Where is the elf village in relation to the toy factory? Where is it in relation to where Mr. and Mrs. Claus lives? How many elves do you have? These are all questions that you will be asked. I mean, countless times, you get asked who's your head elf, and a lot of folks have Bernard as their head elf, courtesy of the Santa Claus. Some have Fizzlepop, courtesy of Steve Gillum. And then, of course, there's yours truly. And I also know that there's also Elf Minty as well and Elf Trouble. But where do your elves live? How many elves do you have? And if they live in a dorm, how is it situated? That type of thing. So these are all questions that you're going to be asked and that you should have a rough idea. If they live in separate cabins, what do they look like? Do they look like little log homes? Do they look like little wartime houses built in the 1940s and 50s? Because they're close to a factory. So these are all questions that you definitely need to have a clear answer for and have an answer at the top of your head and also consistently. I see Rosetta is on. Hi, Rosetta. How are you today? And I also see that Ray Bradshaw says he's got the Pinecone Village in the North Pole. And Ray has been sharing his North Pole with me through the weeks, and he's been painting a beautiful, vivid picture of what his Santa's North Pole looks like. And that's what you need to be able to do is you need to be able to paint a picture as to what your North Pole looks like. Charlie notes that his single elves live in a college-type dormitory, and elves with families have cottages and apartments. He's got 999,000 elves at the North Pole. That's a lot, man, and it almost feels like the Haunted Mansion because there's room for one more, right? So, but you need to be able to provide a really quick, consistent answer. When we talk about our North Pole elves, they all live in an elf village, and our elf population fluctuates based on, what the toy production is, because sometimes we get a glut on toys like there happens to be a need for Barbies back when the Barbie movie happened, or there was a new Nintendo or PlayStation item that came out. So there's lots of stuff to happen, and you need to be able to provide a consistent answer. And once again, Ray has a very specific character, Patience the Gnome, who's his head of logistics, very modern and high tech. So there you go. You're going to need to be able to provide that type of answer like that and be consistent. And that will help you paint the picture of your North Pole and keep them believing, which is what our goal is every time we interact as ourselves as a Christmas performer. So next time you're asked, how many elves do you have and where do they live? You'll have that answer. And Rosetta says another idea is that the elves could live in a magical forest with other fairy characters. That is correct. You can, if that works for you, that works for you. So there you go. Anyways, wishing everybody a very good week and hope to chat again next week. Thank you.
Ho, 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 ho! Shop Thermo Apparel. They're wonderful, they're fantastic, and for the coolest of cool Santas or Easter bunnies, remember Thermo Apparel. Don't just be cool as an attitude. Keep cool, literally.
Thermo Apparel. Be cool.
Ho, 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 ho!
Hello, everybody. Yes, it is showtime again, and time for a little bit of magical performance. I just want to say thank you again for having me some fun here today. And I got so hungry earlier. when I saw that burger again, it just drives me crazy. And of course, we all know about Santa and eating cookies. And these are some tricks that you can do as branding about cookies. And we all know, we all have our favorite lines. Let me go back to that. We all have our favorite lines about cookies. What's your favorite cookie you're eating? What's your favorite cookie? The one I'm eating now, the round ones, and all those kind of fun lines. But excuse me, I apologize. I know I shouldn't do this, but I'm really, excuse me, I couldn't help myself. Oh, that was really rude. I'm sorry. You can do a little magic with a cookie. We all know what those kind of cookies are. Oh, they're the yummy ones, of course. And sometimes you have a friend, and if you have one of these cookies, you just wave your hand, and you make another cookie. It's just that easy in magic to take two cookies. I'll get two cookies here, two cookies, and wave your hand, and it becomes three cookies. There's so many tricks out there when we talk about branding to do with magic that you can blend with Santa. Of course, cookies are these type are, and this is a thing called it came out years ago as a bite coin. It's just a little tiny, this looks like an Oreo. It's got a rubber band around it, and you just pretend you're biting it, and you flip that back, and it pops back into the cookie. So it's a fun one to do. In fact, I bought an Oreo pack of cookies um, and filled it up, except for one with like a fake wood in there. This sits right in top, so I can kind of open it up and take this cookie out like it's a real one and pretend it's a cookie. And this is actually, it's a little, it springs inside. It's fun, but it's something to bring along if you're to add a little magic, add a little fun, and a little more talk about besides just saying your favorite cookie is the round one. Your favorite cookie is the one you're eating, or chocolate chips, or of course, I always say my favorite one is, of course, a snickerdoodle. Oh, I love those snickerdoodles because they don't tell you what it is. We all know what a chocolate chip is. We all know what a sugar cookie is, but what is a snickerdoodle besides silly to hear? But there's so much more magic out there to do with cookies than Santa. I've shown this many times before, but of course, to make your own cookies, and there's a story behind it. You can talk about Mrs. Claus only allows me to have so many cookies all the time, and well, I ate them all, of course. I can't help myself when it comes to cookies, but hopefully we can make some cookies appear together. We just tell you, and of course, you all know those magic elf words, right? Wiggle those fingers. Will you, would you, would you? Oh, they make Santa laugh all the time. I love those words. Just like that, you can make cookies. And this is what they call a little duck pan, a little chick pan, actually. But there's so many props you can use to take an item that Santa talks about quite often, a cookie, or Mrs. Claus does, or elves do, and make it with magic. Make it appear, make a connection with it, and all that. I always make a joke out of this. These are actually real cookies, and these are about 10 years old. They were made and sprayed with shellac on them, and they last forever. So you can use real cookies. It's a real cookie. But what is this called? A little. If I can show you how it's done. It's a little pan. This is nothing. Just a little pan, and this hides up in the top here. Hides up in the top, and you just take that and it just set it on there, and it disconnects it, and you now they have other ones like that, or they have little tiny ones like this. These are even plastic, or that don't have such a big top. It basically does the exact same thing. A cookie maker does the same goodies, but we can take something that Santa and Mrs. Claus talk about all the times. Yeah, Bear, I'll be glad to put the link up of the this is actually called, it's actually called double stack. Is what the Oreo cookie is called, double stack. In fact, it's right here. I keep it in a box because it's a nice and safe packaging for a double stack cookie. It's a great packaging. And of course, these are bite cookies, which I can send you links for. But it's a great way to add fun to something that we always talk about as Santa and Mrs. Claus. Yeah, thank goodness I'm glad Mrs. Claus is not only a cookie baker anymore. I love that she's not only a cookie baker anymore. So, but we can still use that cookie because children want to know what your favorite cookie is, and if we can do a little magic, a little bit of fun along with it, is it just brings the magic alive. It just puts the magic in their hands and their eyes, and that's what we want to do. And something to remember, like we said earlier, something to remember you as Santa, different than another Santa or another Mrs. Claus or Elf. So you get the booking again. And like we talked about having Facebook page websites, I actually got rid of mine a few years ago because it was spending that money each month and yearly. And I was already, might as well say I was booked the following year. I wasn't really advertising anymore. So like Bob said, he was the mall, he was filled up automatically. It just was a cost that you didn't need to bear. Thank goodness, after years of hard work and positive feedback and everything. So, but stand out a little bit, do that branding. It's a great thing to do, and just have fun, and that's the biggest part. Just have fun, and if you're not having fun, the children, everybody else will know you're not either. They can sense that right away if you're just going through the motions. And I know you all have the heart of gold out there, the heart of to make everybody happy. If it's a child, if it's an adult, and like I've said so many times before, it makes me smile just as much seeing an adult smile. That I brought some happiness and joy back to them because they forgot about work. They forgot about their fight with their spouse. They forgot about bills for a few moments, and they remembered about Santa. And it just, so a child is innocent, and we love to make them happy and give them joy. But it's also great to make the adults, and that's our job, to bring joy to everybody. Thank you again. I can't thank you enough for how much I enjoy doing this and the joy I get. You guys are wonderful. Love you all. I'll see you soon.
All right, Sleigh Bell Brain Teaser. What is the most expensive toy sold in recent years from the 1970s? That would be answer D, the 1979 Star Wars action figure. And our winner,
Mr. Bill Coates.
Bill Coach, gets that one. Bill, do we have his t-shirt size?
I don't.
Bill, I don't know if I got your t-shirt
think
size
so.
and your address. I know I got your address somewhere, but send it to me anyway in a private message. I would appreciate it. The Claus and Effect bonus round. How much was the record amount for this toy? That was answer A, 525,000. Our winner,
That would be Ernie Russo.
Ernie Russo's name goes on the hat for the NPC drawing. Great job by both of you gentlemen. All right, real quick before we run off into our Cherry Hill promo. 1979 Star Wars rocket firing Boba Fett action figure sold for 525,024. It was making the most expensive vintage toy from the 1970s sold in recent years. This rare prototype is one of only two surviving hand-painted missile-firing figures created in 1979. All right, Cherry Hill now. Don't forget to watch all the 2026 family shows. Tune in, kick up your heels, and join in the fun. All powered by TNL Network Productions. And our promo will run at the end of the show. If you're not familiar with those shows, stick around and watch that. Real quick, like tomorrow night, Ken Kringle will be our guest on Tuesday Night Live. Over the top puppet personalities for dummies. Ken has a whole family of puppets. It's going to be a fun and crazy show. All right, guys, we got any thoughts or takeaways?
No, just thank you very much. Always wonderful. Great. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again, everybody. Just can't do it without everybody that's here.
Just
Wrong
grateful
side.
for
There you go.
everybody. Just grateful for everybody to continue watching the show, and want everybody to, if you're following on YouTube, please like and subscribe and ring that bell so you get notifications when our live streams start and they get uploaded. Just keep on engaging, put on a comment, share the posts, whatever. Just do what you can to engage on all of the TNL network shows, and just to make sure that you get the word out there.
Right, and that notification bell will let you know when we go live. As Phineas says, thank you, Phineas. Thank you, Randall. Thank you, Angela Mack. Happy birthday to Angie again. We had a great time. Went out the other night and had some good food and good time together. Thanks everyone for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow night on Tuesday Night Live show with Ken Kringle and his puppets and a lot more. And see you back here next Monday. Don't forget to watch all the shows this week. They're all great. Can't miss them.
Bye, and thank
Good
you,
night.
Rosetta, for subscribing to our YouTube. We really appreciate you.
And don't forget Phineas, who comes on this afternoon.
Later on tonight is Sean White with the Claus Connect, and she's talking about the road to Santa.
That's correct. Thank you, guys. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.